Hello, everybody. Welcome to Open Mic for Writers. We're here once a month, and we invite people to come and bring their work and share it. We do creative nonfiction, fiction and poetry, and personal essay. Tonight we're celebrating the second issue of the Rathalla Review, which is a literary magazine produced by Rosemont College. And we have three writers so far here tonight that are published in the magazine. They're going to read from their work. And if you want to read the magazine, go online to rathallareview.org. Besides the writers from the Rathalla Review, anyone who would like to come up and read something or recite a poem that they know by heart or tell us a short story, you're welcome to, or share something, memoir. So we'd love to hear your work, and it's always very inspiring. We never know what people are going to bring, but it's always good. So our first writer is published in this is the second issue of the Rathalla Review, and John Timpane is here. He is the media editor, writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer. His work has appeared in all sorts of places, and most recently in Cleaver, Apiary, Rathalla Review, and the Philadelphia Review of Books. He lives in Central Jersey, and he's here tonight to read from the Rathalla Review. And here's John.
Thanks very much. So what I'm going to read is the poem that appears in the Rathalla. It's based on stories I've heard from several women who are in the position that is described here. And when my wife read this, she said, well, she knew some women who had made the choice that's talked about in this poem. And she said very wisely, she's probably the wisest person I've ever known, she said, I just don't know what the right choice is. And this is called Between L and N. Mastectomy begins with the letter M, and then a clot of ugliness. It ends with with me. But I am them, she said. Her doctor, think about it. Friends advised her, life is everything. Lose them. Live. If not these pleasures, others. Even he. I'll trade them for you. Let them go. Survive. Alternatives, her doctor said when she brought No into his office. I came to say I must be in his hands on mine and me. Touch is our love. I won't betray. So burn me, poison me. I won't say it's fine. If these leave me, some woman in me ends. And if we die together, then as friends. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Where do we have the copy of the Rathalla Review? Do we have it sitting over here? Okay. When it shows up, I'll put it out prominently. Feel free to take a look at it. We're really proud of it. And feel free, if you do write, to submit something to the Rathalla Review. We'd love to publish you. So let's see. Where's Allison? Allison was here. And, well, I think since Allison is not here at the moment, I'll go next. So, my name is Tracy Kaufman-Wood. I am the creative nonfiction editor at the Rathalla Review. And I'm going to read a couple of things. We do this every month, and I like to do something that goes with the theme of the month. Since tonight we're celebrating the second issue of the Rathalla Review, I'll read a short piece I wrote, which is in this second issue of the Rathalla Review, and it's about Anne Lamont. She was here, the writer Anne Lamont was here at Bryn Mawr Presbyterian Church in March, and I went and heard her read. And I wrote about what I wrote about it, because I think it's always inspiring to go and hear writers and to share what they have to say. It's good for writing and it's good for living. So I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to read a story about my dad in honor of Father's Day. So thanks for listening. Bryn Mawr Presbyterian Church was transformed into the Church of Anne Lamont last week when best-selling author Anne Lamont visited to discuss her latest book, Help, Thanks, Wow, the Three Essential Prayers. The pews and balconies overflowed with her pious fans, laughing at every joke, hopeful for some new revelation about writing and living. Lamont pretty much gave the same instructions on writing and life revealed in her national bestseller and Writer's Bible, Bird by Bird, Some Instructions on Writing and Life, published in 1994, after the wildly successful Operating Instructions first put her on the map in the New York Times bestseller list 20 years ago. I only know two things about writing, she reasserted. You take very short assignments, and you write a terrible first draft. Everybody writes awful first drafts, way too long and overwritten. Any book you love, remember, was a terrible first draft. Notice, she didn't say shitty first draft, the expression for which she has become famous in so many writing workshops. I guess this was in deference to the venue, or revised since coming out as a Christian, as she said in reference to her very public spiritual journey. I have to admit, I'm not as big a fan of her latter-day, more preachy emphasis, but her perceptive storytelling ability, her ruthless honesty, and self-effacing humor continue to amaze and amuse me, and make me wish she were my best friend. About her new book, Help, Thanks, Wow, the Three Essential Prayers, she said, "My publisher suggested I write this. I really do like to write about things I come upon. I wanted to write a book about my spiritual practice that my brothers and 19-year-old son would get. This book is more about living than writing." But with lessons applicable to writers, artists, and anyone devoted to taking notes on the human condition. When asking for help or helping others, go inward and speak from a place of intimacy and depth. This is great advice for writers. Be appreciative. Appreciate anger as well as love. Just say, okay, when you are really angry, and give yourself up to the wow, she clarified. You know, when you are majorly obsessed and you can't stop your ranting mind, you go outside and look at the starry night. Don't you always say, wow? We never say, well, not so great. There are things in life that never cease to provoke the wow response. Remember these and keep them as a prayer. According to Lamont, this book only took 4 months to write. Usually it takes her 2 years to complete a book. She emphasized perfectionism is the voice of the oppressor, almost satanic. Learn to make more mistakes and let things be. She admitted that this is something that comes with age, or AGE syndrome, her latest kvetch. For 58-year-old Lamont, the process of aging causes you to see just how precious and vulnerable you are, and to be okay with the fact that no one cares. So you can stop worrying about how you look, how you come across to people, and that your arms and neck will never look any better. As for a writing practice, she says, sit down every day at the same time. Don't wait for inspiration, just show up. Keep your butt on the chair. I have an idea. I scribble notes, and there are 37 critical voices inside me. 2 voices like the story, and you write it for those 2 people. What Anne Lamont mostly believes in is pen and paper. Once you have those two things, she asserts, you get to write everything you want, and you own everything that has ever happened to you. No one can stop you. And if you can inject some humor, she says, laughter is carbonated holiness. Her last words last Wednesday were her most important for any writer or human being to hear and truly believe. We are loved and chosen, and we have a lot to share. Amen. Thanks. I do have that Father's Day piece. I guess I'll read that. Bye, John. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. And then Allison will follow me up with her work. All right. So I wrote this a number of years ago for Father's Day, and I wish you all a happy Father's Day and a chance to think about what you've been given. Father's Day will come and go. Some will spend time with their fathers. Others will remember or try to forget. Fathers give the gift of life, and if you are lucky, they give more. If you are really lucky, when they are gone, you have something memorable to stay or display. Sometimes as children, we don't appreciate what we have. Often as teenagers, we keep our hearts sealed from our parents. But memory saves us from ourselves. We grow older, and our memories become the stories we savor and share. I'm thinking about a story my dad shared with me not long before he died. He was a professional boxer in the 1930s and 40s, long before I knew him. My dad was Irish Abe, the South Philly southpaw, who boxed his way through larger cities and smaller towns. As the youngest son of Jewish immigrants from Russia who settled into the Irish Catholic neighborhood of 5th and Wolf Streets in South Philadelphia, Dad spent Saturdays in synagogue with his father and Sundays in church with his baseball buddies. When he was 12, his father died. Dad's life became consumed with sports and trying to make a buck to help his widowed mother. At 15 years old, he established himself as an amateur fighter, won 50 fights and many titles. The local parish priest attended the fights and recognized him. Dad recalled, "The priest jumped into my corner and remained there throughout the 3 rounds, cheering and yelling for the boy from his parish." The following week, the promoter of the show presented Dad with a pair of boxing trunks, blue on one side with a white stripe and a Star of David. The other side was Kelly green with a gold stripe and harp. The Jewish kid, A.B. Kaufman, became Irish Abe of 5th and Wolf. Then, in his senior year at Central High, as a lettered athlete, Dad turned down a baseball scholarship to Penn State and chose instead to go pro as a boxer when he was offered what in Dad's view was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Professionally ranked as a lightweight contender, he fought anybody and everybody for 12 years. The promoters matched him in all categories, regardless of weight, because he could dance around his opponents, give the audience a show, and go the distance. One time, though, he went too far. Somewhere down south in the 1930s, 2 locals grabbed him before the fight and taunted, "I hear you're a Jew boy. I ain't never seen a Jew boy before. Show us your horns. Come on, Jew boy. Show us your horns." He was matched up with the local favorite and asked for his show, but was told to throw the fight, fix it for the homeboy, and don't tell or you'll never get out of here alive, you stinking Jew. Dad rebuffed, "My name is Abraham. I come to fight." And that's how they read it in the morning papers the day after he beat the hell out of the homeboy. He got out of there fast and never went back. Irish Abe went north to New York and Boston, and went to Chicago, fighting the likes of Ike Williams and Willie Pett. He believed that Ike Williams might have been the best fighter of all time, since Ike fought and beat Joe Louis and Ray Robinson. Dad didn't always win, or even get the decision, but the promoters liked him, because at the last bout, he was usually still standing. From his chair in the living room, 50 years later, Dad welled up in tears when he spoke of the squared circle. He said, "There is no question in my mind that a one-on-one situation like boxing can bring out the best in all of us." Although Dad was a stoic, through the painful challenges of old age, knee and hip replacements, wrist cartilage removal, dependence on a pacemaker, and hearing aid, Dad sobbed when he told me this story from his youth. In the end, he braved his ultimate opponent, prostate cancer, and lost the fight. What did I get from my father? I inherited his muscular frame, but not his drive. I can approximate his dimpled smile, but I can't shine it back at him, as I wish I had done more often in my youth. I can display his photos, tell his story, and let my heart go the distance. As a short addendum to this, when my brothers read this story, they felt the need, as always, to correct me. He was not left-handed, they said. Look at his picture. He leads with his right. And they are right. But like me, my father also liked poetry. As well, he told me that in sports, he was ambidextrous. So I took some poetic license because I liked the sound and sense of South Philly Southpaw, as it describes him. And I think he would too. And here he is, leading with his right. Thank you for that.
It's very nice.
Enjoy your father on Father's Day. And Allison. Allison, let me read a little bit about Allison. Allison Wittenberg is the author of 4 novels, most recently Tutored, Random House 2010. She's a Philadelphia native and holds an MA from the University of Wisconsin. She loves the poetry of Dorothy Parker. Here's Allison Wittenberg. Would you like to be video?
Hi everybody, and it's a pleasure to be here. Water's wine. The balance of bliss is pain. The balance of pain is enlightenment. The balance of enlightenment is more enlightenment. The balance of more enlightenment is transcendence. The balance of transcendence is alienation. The balance of alienation is bliss. This next one, I know you guys are eating, but this is about the Donner Party. Okay? It's called Eat the Indians First. Them, the Donner Party. Go west, young man, and get lost. In the coldest winter in California's history, I, 2 Indians, as scout, then as dinner. The scouts won't eat human flesh, even if it dies from natural causes. Ironically, the Christians have no such restrictions. When the going gets tough, the braves get eaten. Us, 2 Indians. Another day outgunned. They said we stole their cattle. We should have stayed in our wigwam. We were only trying to help. One by one, they dropped because they didn't pack right. Till an epiphany comes. Why not eat the... When they decided, we took a long walk, that long walk toward eternity. And what does it really matter? They've taken our land, our women, our children. What is left but to be eaten down to the bone? And my apologies for people who read. One last one, and this one is called Jane's Veins. Most of my, all of my books are teen books, so I sort of wrote this as a teen poem. Two diaries, one lies, the other one dreams until reality loops into illusion. Neither records terrorist attacks, murder rates, or involving leaders. One contains measurements of her bust size, one holds friendships, loves, pursues, sustained, and needs of resuscitation. Both contain hate for prettier girls. Each smells soft, as if sprinkled with powder. One is black and plain, the other one is under my bed. The one that is pink has birds and flowers on the cover. That's often on my desk. The world is a microscope, and I am microscopic. Each night, my wrist moves on the page, scripting with red juice. Thank you. And who's next?
All are invited. The mic is open, and we'll be here for a while, so if you get your nerve up and want to read something, or anybody else drops in that wants to read, we're here. And I thank you all for listening, and for giving us your attention. We appreciate it. Thank you.
So